Hello, this is a off-the-cuff discussion regarding George Spider, and I'll be using pet names or aliases for people's names, speaking in tongues for good reason, and I'm not going to explain that exactly, but there are reasons such as scanning and such. But regarding somebody named George Spider, he was recently shown on CNN about how he was harassing a particular family, and they just happened to be a military family, just coincidentally. And he was making their life hell, and what's interesting is he still has a YouTube channel. See, the rest of us, we do anything wrong and our channels were deleted instantly. We didn't even do anything wrong, technically. They just decided they wanted to kill our content, delete our channels, and this happened to many people. And there were numerous waves of that, as people know, who were creating videos and went through it. And they can take down a channel at any time they want. I've seen it happen. They don't even have to give strikes. They'll just remove the whole channel. Boom, gone. But for some reason, they can't do this with George Spider, who is attacking a military family and blaming them for starting the, how can I say it? The C-19, this pathology, this paranoia, this thing that's not any worse than the regular flu, fabrication, as I'd say. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, it's just nothing like what it's being portrayed to be. But he's made up a story that this certain military person started it. They were patient zero, and on and on and on and on. And he's been lying on YouTube for years. And I remember when I first came across him on YouTube, when he first showed up, he was sitting in a room claiming he was all paranoid and he was going to die soon. And he was a targeted individual, and they had all kinds of sound weapons or invisible weapons being directed at him, and all on and on. He's a complete, instantly, I knew he was a complete fraud. He's like some of these other people who showed up out of the blue and were highly promoted and directly linked to the InfoWars crew. He's directly linked to them. He was a guest on the show, as well as his brother, his baby brother, Dave Actor, who's also linked to InfoWars and a guest on the show. So, yeah, it's all one big happy family. And they're all working with the military, and this entire thing is a fabrication. That's the point of the video. We have, once again, people on YouTube positioned and set up to spread all kinds of lies, infiltrate the so-called truther community or the alternative media, and create a long list of lies and a channel that has nearly 100,000 subs, and make money off of it because that's how they're being paid. They're being paid through clicks. This is money laundering. And he works for the government to do what he's doing. And now he's attacking a military family, and they're just so upset. The military family is so under attack, they can't do anything about it. He's ruining their lives. And they can't sue him, apparently. They can't sue him for libel and defamation and slander. They can't do it, apparently. Or the U.S. Army won't stand up and do it for them because they're attacking one of their members. They won't help because it's all a fabrication. That's the point that I'm trying to get across, is the purpose of this. What is the purpose of such a fabrication? Well, it's like they've done in the past with things like Handy Sook. They have people come out who are paid to create outrageous things that are extremely offensive so that that gets the public upset, and they demand something has to be done. They demand that some sort of system has to be implemented in YouTube to censor people. Isn't it interesting? All the people who did all the fabrications still have channels, and the people who didn't had their channels deleted. I could go down a list of people, all linked directly to InfoHorrors and Aleister Crowley Jones, the Texas Whale, because they're all part of a big, and it's large, system of right-wing operatives who are allowed to promote their propaganda. They have very little implications. And finally, after many people complained, they finally had to do something with Aleister Crowley Jones, and they took his channel down right in time to delete all of the evidence of all of his videos. But many of us captured many of those videos, but there are tons of them that people did not get to capture. And then they sent them all over to a corner of the internet so they could monitor all the crazy people that went and followed him over there and downloaded his tracking app, which I've made a video about in the past. And he's directly linked and working with the organization called the F blank 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 B blank 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 I blank blank blank. He's been absolutely caught having informants that work for them on his show and promoting that you call the guy up directly and implicate yourself and get tracked. That's what Aleister Crowley Jones has done for you and your movement and your people. He's done this many times. He has informants and military people who are part of the military-industrial complex, as they call it. He always has them on the show, and he talks about how the military loves him and they're so great, but they're going to come and arrest you all and put you in camp soon. This duplicity of bullshit that he spreads. Yep. Military are the greatest people, but they're going to come and arrest you any minute. But we know the good ones in the military, and they're going to save you. Buy my penis pills, please. Yeah, that's him. That's him. Big bunch of bullshit. And they've been running them, and they've been running an entire complex of people through YouTube. They are part of the whole Pizzagate scam. That was one thing that George Spider was part of, promoting that whole scam, and among many others. He promoted that, and that entire scam was created by the National Enquirer, specifically to assist the president-in-chief dump truck. The flim-flam man from New York, who's extremely rich, but extremely in debt at the same time, which means he's not really rich. He's just beholden to people who hold him by the tiny little McNuggets that he has in his pants. And yeah, anyway. But I just wanted to comment that this George Spider thing is a big fiasco because the right wing, the dump truck supporters, are claiming that this whole thing was a Chinese biological weapon when it was not. And probably quite the opposite way, actually. But that's kind of why they have some person with no credentials, no, I mean, he's got no credibility left anymore. This George Spider guy, he gets away with everything, like having ports shut down without getting arrested and put in jail for it. But yeah, he's running around claiming these crazy stories about U.S. Army people who went and brought the disease to China. And yeah, this is all a big game. That's the point I want to bring across here, is that you are being inundated 24/7 with propaganda and disinformation from government employees like George Spider. And he never gets in trouble. He never loses his channel because he's part of an operation. That's what these people do. They run their operations on YouTube. And if you try to step in, you get attacked by them and all their cronies because they're all part of a big system. They all have signed the contract to cross-support each other. They always swap spit and recommend each other's channels. And that's why George Spider was featured on the Aleister Crowley Jones show, among other shows in the alternative media like Rents and etc. Yeah, one big happy Scamology family, brought to you by the how would you say it? Uncle Sam Payne.